Okay. Good afternoon, everyone, and I'd like to welcome you all to the Public Safety Committee meeting for November 24th, 2020. It's a little bit after 2, and we will start out with a roll call and posting of the agenda, and I'll ask Supervisor-elect to lead us in the flag salute, please. Madam Clerk?
Member Lopez?
Here.
Member Ramirez?
Here.
Chair McDonald?
Here.
Chair, we have a quorum, and the agenda for this meeting was posted in the City Hall kiosk on Wednesday, November 18th.
Okay, great. Well, let's please rise and place your hand over your heart and ready, begin. Great day. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you.
Thank you. And that will take us to public comments on items not on the agenda. We do have one request to speak from, and Mr. Wofford, forgive me if I mess your name up, but it looks like it's Jabbar Wofford. And Madam Clerk, if we can reach out to this person and have them provide their comments.
Okay. Hi, Jabbar, you're live in the council meeting and you have you have 2 minutes. Please begin.
Okay. All right, sweet. Thank you. Yeah, my name is Jabbar Wofford. I'm a lifelong resident of Oxnard. I was born here and grew up here all my life. And I just want to comment on the streets that were recently done. They look really nice, recently paved, C Street especially, Channel Islands also. Yeah, I mean, I grew up in Oxnard, riding my bike from school, Fremont, from 4th and 8th to Fremont to Oxnard High School, Driftwell, and all that stuff. And then I started riding my bike to work. And that's one thing I really like to do. It helps me, gets me energized, keeps me, in shape. But and I'm glad that there's nice new paved roads on C Street. But the only bad thing about it, now it feels like as I come down C Street from work to the south side, from around 9th Street, from Woolley basically to Fur, I feel like I am riding for my life. You know, I'm just trying to get home, but now I don't know, the lines, the striping is just way. It seems like it's way more dangerous now. I mean, I really gotta. I basically got to change my shorts on when I get to work and when I get home. So I think Oxnard needs to pay a little bit more attention when they do the streets and just all around for bicyclists. I know last year a lot of people were killed on their bikes and pedestrians by vehicles, and I think that's something that needs to be addressed. I recently got involved with Ventura Bike Hub, and I saw how they did Ventura and made Ventura a lot more bike friendly, bike safe, and I want that to be done here in Oxnard. Excuse me?
Oh, sorry, that was
Okay.
2 minutes.
I'm sorry. Go ahead. Well, thank you for your comments. We will be forwarding them to the public works staff. We really can't enter into any discussion on it during this period, but they will be referred to public works. Mr. City Manager, can you make sure that happens?
Yes, sir.
Thank you, sir. Mr. Wofford, thank you so much.
All right, thank you.
Okay, Madam Clerk, that'll take us to item C1, approval of the minutes. Have the members had a chance to review the minutes from the last meeting?
Yes, I'll move to approve.
Second?
Okay, Madam Clerk, we have a motion and a second. A roll call, please.
Member Lopez?
Yes.
Member Ramirez?
Yes.
Chair McDonald?
Yes.
The motion carries 3-0.
Okay, that takes us to D1, Supplemental Law Enforcement Services Fund. And I'm not sure if Chief Wood is going to do this or if someone else is going to do it, but whoever it is, you're up.
Okay. Good afternoon, Mayor Pro Tem, Councilmember McDonald, and Councilmember Lopez. Jason Benitez here, giving two reports. They're actually very routine items. The first being the Supplemental Law Enforcement Services Fund, known as SLES-F. Now, this fund is something that we use every year. It's based on an offset from the vehicle licensing fee. There's a formula taken from the vehicle licensing fee statewide that gets allocated to the counties. And Ventura County's allocation this year is about $1.6 million. Of that, based on a formula-based apportionment, Oxnard's allotment for this fiscal year is $313,000. And with that, we're asking that the Public Safety Committee recommend to the City Council that the money is recognized, grant revenue is recognized from the State Supplemental Law Enforcement Services Fund, and that is approved the budget appropriation in the amount of $313,465 to support the police department's body-worn camera development, and then authorize the chief financial officer or designee to approve additional budget appropriations if awarded. Very routine item. As I mentioned, what we do with this, in past years, we use this fund for items like computer replacement, equipment, training, but given the costs of our body-worn camera program, they essentially match what the award is. We decided to keep it simple, allocate all of this funding towards funding our body-worn camera efforts, and that's essentially it for this one. If there are any questions on that, I'd be glad to take them.
Thank you, Chief. Straight and to the point. And by the way, congratulations on your pending promotion. It's very well deserved.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you very much.
And do the committee members have any questions or comments?
I thank you. I just want to also add my congratulations to our next Chief of Police. Jason Benitez has been great for the city and will continue to be, and I have no questions about the item. Thank you.
Thank you. Member Lopez, any comments?
I will follow up, and same congratulations to our new incoming chief. And I'll move the recommended action.
I'll second it.
Okay, Madam Clerk, we have a motion and a second. Roll call, please.
Lopez. Member Lopez,
Yes.
Member Ramirez,
Yes.
and Chair McDonald.
Yes,
All right, motion carries 3-0.
thank you so much. And we'll move to item number 2, federal and state asset forfeiture funds. And I'm presuming it'll be Chief Benitez again. Chief?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And thank you for your kind words. Very, very generous. I really do appreciate the encouraging words from you. Thank you. The next item, another routine item. We do this every year. This concerns our federal and state asset forfeiture allocation. I'll move right to the recommendation that the Public Safety Committee recommend that the City Council approve a special budget appropriation in the amount of $115,000 for the use of the federal and state asset forfeiture funds allocated to the police department. So before I do that, I'll tell you a little bit about the asset forfeiture program. Asset forfeiture is a tool that's used by law enforcement agencies against criminals and criminal organizations ranging from organized crime, drug trafficking, and the purpose of asset forfeiture is to deprive these criminal enterprises of ill-gotten gains. It's been a long time process in which the forfeited funds are then used for the agencies for the purpose of conducting operations or further investigations. Historically, our police department's primary source of asset forfeiture funds was through a long-standing partnership that it had with the Ventura County Sheriff's Department on the Ventura County Combined Agency Team. That partnership lasted for over 2 decades. And so the funds that we're seeing today in today's allocation request come principally from the efforts that were taking place while we were part of VCAT. What do we do with the money? We actually use this for training and opportunities that are typically not normally covered by our general fund budget or other opportunities that are not considered to be post-approved training. For example, you'll see in this slide, we have some categories here: safety equipment, tactical equipment and training, security cameras, and computer hardware and software. the training opportunities that we use are typically have to do with tactical training. For example, the SWAT training week that we're able to put on. We have peer support training. There are some conferences, for example, with the New World, the Tyler Users Conference every year, deals with our CAD and RMS systems. And then also it in part funds our efforts to field the unmanned aerial systems or drones, so that money comes from asset forfeiture to operate that program. So with that, that's the general overview of asset forfeiture and what we plan on doing it. And if there are any questions on that, I'd be more than glad to take those also.
Thank you, Chief. Do the committee members have any questions or comments?
I do have one, Chief. I know that in asset forfeiture, the person or the entity that's had the asset seized, which I understand generally is cash. Is that correct? Pretty much just cash?
Yes, that's primarily what we are dealing with here. You can seize other types of assets, but we are typically dealing with just cash.
And are you familiar with any cases in during the last year or so where people have challenged the forfeiture? And you have to go to court and you have to say, no, this was not ill-gotten. This was, just the work or payment for something. Do people?
Go ahead. Oh, no, I am not aware of any cases where that has happened. There has been some legislation that has come into play over, I believe it was about 3 years ago. Senate Bill 443 was passed, and that created that before funds under an amount of $40,000 could be seized, that there had to be a conviction first. So that kind of negates that argument. Now, the only exception to that would be is if the case was a federal-based investigation from the initial stages of the investigation and prior to the seizure.
Okay, thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Member Lopez, any questions or comments?
None on my end. I'll move the recommended action.
Second.
Okay, Madam Clerk, we have a motion and a second. A roll call, please.
Member Lopez,
Yes.
Member Ramirez,
Yes.
Chair McDonald.
Yes.
The motion to approve carries 3-0.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Third item, ordinance prohibiting bridge jumping.
Good afternoon, Chair McDonald, committee members Ramirez and Lopez. Thank you very much for your time today. My name is Andrew Gonzalez. I'm a deputy city attorney. Today, I am presenting an ordinance prohibiting bridge jumping. The recommendation before you is that this committee recommend that the City Council introduce and adopt an ordinance prohibiting bridge jumping. The government code defines any form of diving into water where diving is prohibited as a hazard recreational activity. And I would like to point out, although our slide does list government code section 831.7 subsection 2, that it should actually be 831.7 subsection B subsection 2. So for some background, the city has received numerous complaints of persons jumping from bridges in the city, and specifically these bridges have been the Channel Islands Harbor Bridge, as well as Sea Bridge. Slide 5 does show individuals getting ready to jump off of the bridge, and the concerning matter is demonstrated in slide number 6, which demonstrates individuals jumping where watercraft are actually crossing underneath the bridge portion. So that is very dangerous. The proposed ordinance makes it unlawful to jump from any portion of a bridge or climb on or over any portion of the railing of a bridge. With that, are there any questions?
My only question would be, is this applicable to both public and private bridges?
So this specifically would be for public bridges in the city of Oxnard.
Because I know the Seabridge Bridge was a big concern. I don't know if that belongs to the city or if that belongs to the homeowners association, the development, or whoever. That's something we'd have to work out then.
So actually, now that you mention it, no, this would be citywide inside of Oxnard, because that was
Okay.
something that was brought up. So it would include Seabridge.
Okay, so
My
private
misunderstanding.
ownership would not be an issue on that particular bridge then.
No.
Okay,
Seabridge would
thank
be
you.
included in this ordinance.
Thank you so much. Committee members, do you have any questions or comments?
I have a question about, let's see, I want to just make sure, does it just prohibit jumping into water? People jumping off, into the dry Santa Clara River, dry most of the year? Would that's sort of shared with maybe the county and the city of Ventura? Would that impact that?
So for this ordinance, we specifically did over bridges.
Okay,
So
not a freeway overpass?
that's not something that's included in the definition, but that's something that we can look into.
Not a train trestle that we have crossing over a few places, and we have the 3rd Street Bridge. So it isn't, I just want to make sure it isn't just people jumping into water.
If I can interject briefly, committee members and chair. So it would be a structure built over a railroad, or a road, a river, any other body of water, or places where vehicles cross. So that's within the definition of bridge.
Okay. I don't, how deep is that water at Seabridge? Or the one you showed, if that's Seabridge?
I believe in the portion we're talking about, it's about 8 to 10 feet. It's not very deep.
Not deep, but you wouldn't necessarily hit the bottom. But
No.
I'm wondering if people are trying to hurt themselves sometimes, or is it just fun? But I think it's a good thing to do. I know there will be people saying, "Hey, you're cutting out all our fun," but it's been dangerous. I agree. So I support this.
I've talked to many residents out there, and I think the biggest concern is jumping off that particular bridge and not realizing there's a boat coming from the blind side and
Yes.
smacking into a boat or something. So
That would be terrible.
yeah, Member Lopez, do you have any comments?
Yes, I have a question. So if I recall correctly, probably from the last time, which has been a while ago, that I crossed the sea bridge, the image that was shown. There is a sign that says no diving or no jumping or something like that. But do we expect to add any additional signage that listing the ordinance or what the consequences are, not just in the sea bridge location, but the Channel Islands Bridge?
My understanding is that is something that we have discussed with the Oxnard Police Department. However, the first step was to get this ordinance done so that we'd have something to reference to.
Okay. Thank you.
This is the city manager. We would certainly post those signs at all the bridges. But to be clear, this has arisen specifically out of pleasure jumping at Seabridge. We're not having this problem off of other bridges throughout the city. And again, the water level also depends on the tide, I believe. But as Councilmember McDonald pointed out, it's extremely shallow when there's a boat underneath.
Right.
Okay, what's the pleasure of the committee?
I'll let VNA move it.
I'll move the recommended action.
I'll second it.
Oh, you'll second it. Okay, great.
I got to do something.
You got to do something.
Madam
Member
Clerk, we have a motion and a second.
Member Lopez,
Yes.
Member Ramirez,
Yes.
and Chair McDonald.
Yes.
The motion to approve carries 3-0.
Okay, thank you very much. That takes us to item E. By the way, to our new Deputy City Attorney, good job. Thank you. Very nice meeting you. Items for future agenda. Any requests?
I don't know if it's appropriate, but I met Deputy City Attorney Gonzalez. He's been there for a while, actually. I think he's been there for more than a year. Is that right?
This will now be about 1.5 years.
Okay. So,
Oh my gosh, I'm sorry. You need to get out more often and be seen in public.
I'm typically in court.
good.
This is his first appearance formally before this committee.
That's right. So congratulations and welcome, even if it's belated. Mr.
Thank you
Gonzalez.
very much. I appreciate it.
I do, I don't know if it's even something we should discuss, but there's been a lot of discussion about enforcement of the curfew, of mask. Well, I don't know that I want to like bring up this, stir this pot, but I want to say that I think that just as far as that, I think the approach of our Oxnard PD is really very good. But I think that might be something that we want to consider having some sort of public discussion about these things that I firmly believe are going to keep people safe and keep the virus down. But there's a lot of, pushback and all that. So I don't know, maybe the city manager will say, don't bring it up. But I thought I would just do that as sort of my last gasp here.
It's very timely, and if it's okay, we can ask Chief Benitez to address it on Tuesday night when we have our regular COVID update.
And some of you know that the Ventura County Sheriff's, I think it was just probably a little bit of a too quick response, which made people think that there would be no enforcement at all. I heard Dr. Levin this morning in the press conference talking about that, and I thought I would recommend anybody go listen to that press conference and hear what he said about this. And of course, the concern is that as the virus escalates, not only are people getting sick and potentially beyond sick, but also there won't be enough staff at our hospitals to take care of people, and of course, the damage to our economy. So yeah, I think that would be good.
Okay, thank you. Member Lopez, any requests?
No, none on my end. Thank you.
Okay, thank you all. It was a concise meeting as usual. Thank you to my committee members. And with that, we will stand adjourned.
Happy Thanksgiving, everybody. Be safe. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye all.